Hey guys, how you doing? I know. I know. I'm not in the champagne room. I have legit been telling people, oh no, I'll pop back in and give you guys another story time, and I haven't been doing that. But in the spirit of my book that's coming out at the end of this month, titled The Unroyal Queen, I thought I would give you guys a little story time that's more connected to a reoccurring theme that keeps popping up, which is I've got glitter all over my face. Please excuse me. I'm not going to reach for it because it's just going to be awkward from the top. But a reoccurring theme that keeps coming up in the book. So yeah, I thought I would just story time it, and here we go. So this story time is about the many double dates I went on with my bestie, and how through these dates we met this group of amazing men. And the thing that really stood out in this friendship that would last for a couple of years were the cultural differences. Now, of course, when your girl breaks up with a man, there's no need for you to linger and maintain any sort of relationship with her ex. Like, what are you doing? So when they broke up, we all broke up. How we met them. So one particular night, we decided, this was pretty much us throughout. We loved movie nights. We're not big on the club or really going out. So our idea of fun was movie nights. So what we would do is we would go past Mickey D's. We would get her caramel sundae. And with me, it was we need to walk up and down store aisles and figure out which chocolate we want, which chips, which cool drink. We're going all the way in. So we arrive at this filling station, and there's a group of guys there, maybe like 5 of them, who are seated at this table. I don't even know what they were waiting for. To this day, I don't even know what they were doing, just chilling there because it was in the middle of the night. Anyway, they're there. So we pull up, and as we pull up, I can already see they're looking in the car. They were all talking. And then there's this moment of, so we get out of the car, and we can both see what's on their mind. We can both see they want to say something. Now, this particular night, we were looking cute. I won't even lie. Crop tops, sweatpants, sneakers, we were cute. And our hair, like, we were just, yeah. So we walk into the store, and while we're walking, we can hear them like, no, we have to say something. No. Yeah, no. When they come out, you talk to this girl. Like, no. We can hear the whole thing. So we buy what we need to buy, and we come out. Now, of course, the alpha male had to make himself seen, heard, felt, all of that. So as soon as we step out, he's already here in the front. Hey, good evening, ladies. How are you doing? My name is so-and-so. Now, me and my friend had this thing where whatever you do, you don't give your real name to begin with. These streets are way too messy for you to be walking around handing out your name to people you don't know properly. Like, no, you just don't need to, especially if we want to duck them. They don't need to know our names. So he asks, what's your name? Now, I don't know if she saw this man and saw her future husband, but she gives him her real name. Takes a minute to catch on. So she says her name, and I'm like, Vanessa. Then it occurred to me, no man, she just gave her name. So I look at her like, now I'm the liar. Now I'm in on this by myself. I can't say anything at this point. What am I going to say? Oh, no, sorry, listen. I didn't quite hear you properly. You were saying name? Oh, no, my name is Lala. So I'm now going with Vanessa. Ask us if we want to go for dinner. It was probably like 7 that night, and we're like, no, we actually planned on a movie night, so we're going to go back to her place and enjoy. So they exchange numbers, and they chatting throughout the night. Now, some point during the night, they decide the following day we're all going on a double date. And that was the rule between us anyway, that if you're meeting a guy for the first time, like properly going to meet him, we have to come. The other has to come because it's just not safe. So already, yeah, it was going to happen anyway. So we get to this place, and shame, homeboy was really, really pulling out the stops and trying to impress her, because of course he took us to this really amazing restaurant here in Sandton. Ambience on point, staff on point, the food was amazing, the wine, it was just it. And he's really, like, he's clearly told himself, this is my babe, and I'm going to do what I need to do to make it official. So we get there, and we chill, order a bottle of wine, we're talking. Now, these two are so loved up, because now they go from like complete strangers. Clearly that conversation the whole night, I don't know what he was saying. He was clearly charming his way into the depths of her heart, because by that evening they and I'm looking at her like, you make me sick. You make me so sick, because now I'm here with the friend and I'm really having to entertain the friend. So we're chilling, and homeboy, guys, men. Anyway, we're chilling and they're kind of talking more, which leaves him and I getting to know each other. And he notices that the bottle of wine at the table is now finished and my glass of wine is finished. So he says, can I order you another glass? And I'm like, oh no, don't worry about it, I can order. He's like, no, let me do it. He was being an absolute gentleman. So I said, okay, thank you, please. I would like da-da-da-da-da. So he's like, okay, no problem. And he lifts his hand, and I think, okay, yeah, right, sure. He's going to lift his hand. Cultural difference number 1. I hear, guys, my head instantly went. My friend, she also didn't even know what to say. She was like, so we're looking at him, and he's like, what's going on? Now his boy bursts out laughing, because he's looking at our reaction, and he just bursts out laughing. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. And he's like, why? And I explain, no, you know that here, that's how we call our dogs. And although I know you're not doing it to be disrespectful, I think she might be offended. At this point, I'm hoping she didn't even hear that. So she comes, she takes the order. Oh, she heard. When she got to the table, her attitude had changed. She was irritated. At this point, she wasn't doing that nice, oh, I'm hoping to get a tip. No, at this point, it was like, to heck with this tip. This guy just, me. No. So she's 100, attitude on 100. It's just going, So I'm like, no, don't. I say to him, oh, don't worry about it, because now he's feeling bad. Like, no. I know you didn't do it on purpose. Just know that that's actually what it is here. Okay. The night continues. We're talking. It's good. We're having a good time. And eventually they suggest, let's just go to the club. In fact, they were like, let's go to a lounge for some drinks. It wasn't a lounge. It was a club. So we end up going to the club and we're having a good time. Now, of course, because the music there is really loud. And at this point, I'm a little loosey-goosey. We've had wine. Now it's champagne. Has forgotten that her name is Vanessa. So homeboy's trying to get my attention and he keeps on, Vanessa. And I'm here having a good time, champagne, looking at other guys, enjoying the music. Mr. Alpha, his boy, is looking at me like, your name is not Vanessa, is it? He's looking at me like, so who are you? Eventually, his boy whispers in my ear, your name is clearly not Vanessa, so perhaps we can do this again. Would you like to do it again? Mortified? Because now I'm the liar in that whole equation. Everybody has divulged their information, and I'm here giving false details. So when he said that, I'm like, I think, yeah, it's cool. My name is Lala. You were again? Introduced myself. Absolutely mortified. When we got back to the house, I was like to my friend, she was laughing at me, laughing. I was so mad. I was so mad at her. Anyway, 2 days after that, he calls my friend up again and he's like, where are you? She's at my home. And he's like, is Lala there? And she's like, yes. And he's like, cool. I'm coming to fetch you guys. I want to take you to another restaurant and I want you to experience our cuisine. So we're like, okay, cool. Cool. Let's go. Get to this place. And now this place, again, it's an African restaurant. And when we get in, we're the only people there, minus the staff. So it's me, him, my friend, his boy, and then the 2 other guys that they were with at the filling station. So we get there and we sit down, they come and take our drinks order, everything is okay. 3 other guys walk in. Now from what it looked like, these people didn't know each other, because when these guys walked in, Mr. Alpha Male didn't even really acknowledge them. He was kind of like, looked at the table and everything. Yeah, there wasn't really a greeting. There wasn't quiet. Within a couple of minutes, he says something across to the table, and a conversation that went from 4 at best shot to a 15. We were talking like this. Next thing it's like they're talking. When I say loud and aggressive, loud and aggressive. And I know I was not the only one tripping. Guys, I was afraid. And when I looked at my friend, she was also afraid. She was trying to hold Mr. Alpha's hand, like, what's going on? At this point, my face gives away everything. You know how I feel about you, the situation, everything by my face and my breathing. Because at this point, I'm looking at them and I can hear myself breathing loud, like, now his boy at the table, one of the other guys, so calm, so chilled, so suave, notices that we're now feeling super uncomfortable. And he's like, no, please relax. They're not fighting. No, they're talking. It's cool. Don't worry. We're good. At this point, I'm thinking, if this situation turns into a full-blown investigation, we don't even know these guys well enough to give surnames, to explain, are the police even going to take us seriously? Because now we're moving around with people we don't know, and now we're caught up in some brawl or potentially some, God forbid, shootout in the middle of some restaurant, empty restaurant. No, it's cool. They're not fighting. No, he was actually very mellow. It's cool. They're not fighting. You guys good? Like, okay. Now we have to work on bringing the breathing back down. Okay. They're not fighting. So what are you guys talking about? So we get involved in the conversation, but we're clearly still very shook up. Then the lady comes and is like, are you ready to order? And he's like, yeah. So he orders, and she asks us, what are we eating? And I'm like, I'll have whatever he is. Then he's having. Then I notice he orders something for me, something else for me. And I'm like, no, I said I'll have. And he was like, Mama, almost like, trust me. Trust me. Take what I order you. The food comes and I take my first bite. You know, when you're trying to be PC, respectful, dignified, polite, all of the above, but your body is like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I was here. And his friend is just saying, sorry, the whole time. The heat that entered into my mouth and dropped to my pit was like, if you don't stop eating, you will end up in the hospital with serious reflux and a perforated ulcer. The food was exceptionally hot. At this point, they're laughing because what they ordered for us was mild. They're eating. When I say sweat, I mean sweat was dripping off their faces. And clearly this is just another day at the office for them, because this lady comes out, she's got a towel, she comes to Mr. Alpha's neck, she's wiping his neck, wiping his hair, We're looking at them like, why? Why would you do this? They are enjoying the food. The loud conversation continues. At some point, those three guys come and join our table. It's more loud screaming and shouting, and it was just something I was not used to, so much so that I was still trying to control. We were both still trying to control the fear. At some point, the guy, his boy, is holding my leg under the table, like looking at me like, just relax, dog. It's cool. Another night. Homeboy's like, let's go back to the club. At this point, we're now used to the fact that he loves the club, and we like him so much. He's such a, like, every time I was with them, he especially, and my girl obviously, never made me feel like the third wheel, which I absolutely was. He would make me feel so included in that dynamic that at certain point, because I was clearly not feeling any of his friends, anytime we would go, it would be the three of us. And she was so cool because she knew I would never cross any boundaries. Even when it was like, oh, maybe you should take his number. It's like, no, I don't need homeboy's number. We don't need to be, no, we don't play those. So it got to the point where when we would go into places, we'd be holding both our hands type of thing. He hosts a pre-drink thing at his house before we go to the club again. This time he has his other boys come, and his boys bring their girls, and there's one girl in particular. If you're watching this, mommy, good for you. You came to enjoy. Baby girl gets there. When we get there, there's liquor, all the liquor you can think of, it's there. Plus all that food that we'd had that time at the restaurant, plus other dishes. Now, I already knew my stomach wasn't quite there yet. I was just getting acquainted to this cuisine. So I was like, hey, let me just drink. When we get to the club, I'll order something to eat. My friend is the same. Let's just drink. Baby girl is clearly very used to this because when we get there, she's here. When she gets there, she's dishing up. She knows what she's eating. She doesn't even wait for her man to say, babe, this is the... Nope, she dishes up. She knows. And she's chasing down the food with Savannah. Within no time, she's here. Excuse me. Excuse me. Homeboy, Mr. Alpha, was not feeling it. He was not feeling, and every time that excuse me came out, he was already so at some point he's like to his friend, he tells him in their language that no, clearly he's reprimanding him, because at some point then he comes into English and he's like, in our culture, women are not supposed to be doing this. They're not supposed to be belching. They're not supposed to be doing burping like this. And no, it's wrong. You can't do it. You can't do it. When I say I had an internal laugh, homeboy was bent that a woman, it wasn't the burping. I feel like it was the fact that it was a woman who was burping, who was blowing, who was saying, excuse me. Clearly she didn't want to be excused because she kept on doing it. He was livid. We're having this internal laugh because we don't want to make the situation any more awkward. But when we get into the car, we're all cackling. Now, it's not at her expense. It was cackling because we realized there are so many things about all of us that are so different. And this was the first time they voiced, like, Lala, when you talk, we can't actually really hear what you're saying. Why do you talk like that? At some point, they would be like, okay, take it down a bit. You don't have to say it like that. You don't have to do it like that. You can bring it down. You can say it like this. Just a normal... Blah, blah, blah. So... to me, it was also the first time I was hearing my accent was very strange. That friendship was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And it was that reminder that cultural differences don't have to be that... they can be amazing and really be the reason why friendships last. And that friendship, I'm telling you, it would have lasted if we hadn't all broken up. Anyway... I did run into homeboy a couple of years after they broke up, and it was nothing but love. Greeted him. It was cool. And yeah, we kept it moving. But that's my story about cultural differences and double dating, which I would do again. Anybody out there who's got a friend and wants to double date, hit me up. No, don't. Maybe. And let's double date. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. And that's my story time. And again, in the spirit of my book that's coming out, The Unroyal Queen, end of this month, you can click the link in my bio to pre-order your copy. The book touches on everything. There's so many topics that are relevant and very current, things that we should be talking about, things that we are talking about. And if you love my champagne room stories, you'll love that book. I've said it before, so you know where to go.